It's about time with Rashawn's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang? Thank you to every single one of y'all who has been taking out the time to watch the videos, like the videos, leave the comments, and share the videos. If you have not already subscribed to the channel and you're watching this video or any of my videos for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. Pass the word about Rashawn's About Time Boxing. Don't forget to like the video and share the video and hit the notification button to stay up on the latest. So yeah, we following up more on this boxing bias and bullshit. Like, you know, Eddie Hearn, now that, you know, Canelo, I don't care what nobody say, Canelo was Eddie Hearn's guy. Okay, period. Let's say what it is. Anybody can say, oh no, yeah, Canelo free agent. Canelo is with DAZN and Eddie Hearn, period. Okay, because if for those of y'all who may have forgotten, we ain't gonna forget about the bullshit Canelo pulled when he was inked underneath Golden Boy, and then he said, oh well, I think it's some funny stuff going on. I need to see the agreement that Golden Boy got with DAZN in reference to me. So, you know, I need to get all my people involved. So they got all these people involved, but all of that was just a plot for Canelo to eliminate Golden Boy so that they couldn't get paid, because Canelo felt like, well, you know, why do I need Golden Boy to promote my fights with DAZN? Because now we know that DAZN, you know, came about after HBO boxing went away, and DAZN kind of like came in its place. But ever now, Canelo Claim, you know what? I just want these contracts dissolved. I want to be done with. I don't want to deal with Golden Boy or DAZN. I'm done. Yeah, something just don't seem right. I want to be done. And as soon as he got released from his contract with Golden Boy, Canelo's next two fights was with who? DAZN. And every fight that he's had since then has been with who? DAZN. The only fight that I think wasn't with DAZN, I think, was the Caleb Plant fight, if I'm not mistaken. Drop the comments in the comment section below. If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. So now Floyd Mayweather has been extremely vocal about, you know, Canelo, and Eddie Hearn has been extremely vocal about how he feels about what Floyd Mayweather has been saying. And a lot of y'all can say, oh, well, you know, you gonna agree with Floyd anyway. Just no, I agree with Floyd because what Floyd's saying is absolutely correct. Eddie Hearn is saying, oh, well, you know, everybody's talking about Floyd beat Canelo, but, you know, Canelo's in his prime now. He wasn't in his prime when he fought Floyd. This is what I'm talking about the bias, bullshit in boxing. Before Floyd fought Canelo, now Floyd was in his mid-30s, close to 40. And y'all can go back and look up a lot of this information. And, you know, I need to just start putting some of this stuff down in the links below. That's what I need to do. But a lot of people were saying Floyd would never fight Canelo. It's Canelo in his prime. Floyd ain't gonna fight no welterweights that's in their prime because he know he gonna lose. That's what everybody was saying. When Miguel Cotto was a lot younger, way before him and Floyd even fought, and they asked Floyd about him, Floyd said, Miguel Cotto, he's a hell of a fighter, but he's too green right now. So Floyd would, when people talking about Floyd, oh, he's picking, he doing this, he did that. And by his own admission, he was like, nah, let Miguel Cotto get some more experience, you know, this, that, and the third and all that. When he really in his prime, then that fight would be good to go. And as you see, when Floyd fought Miguel Cotto gave him a hell of a fight. But Canelo was in his prime when Floyd fought Saul Canelo Alvarez. So y'all can stop all that stuff now, you know, trying to agree with Eddie Hearn talking about, oh, Canelo in his prime now. He wasn't in his prime when he fought Floyd. Yeah, he was in his prime when he fought Floyd. Because all of the performance that Canelo was given up until he fought Floyd, everybody was talking about, yeah, oh man, he a beast, man. He in his prime. Floyd ain't gonna fight nobody in their prime because, man, you know. So Floyd went on ahead. All right, I'm gonna fight this guy, and picked him apart. And true to form, every time somebody said Floyd wouldn't fight somebody because they was in their prime or was stronger or faster or stronger and faster or in their prime stronger and faster, and then he turned around and beat him. Instead of giving Floyd the credit for winning, they made up excuses why his opponents lost. They did it with everybody. They did it with everybody. And then the fights where they couldn't really, get no real thing, where they just flat out said he lost. Oh, yeah, see, he lost. But he beat every single individual, and a lot of people just mad because he was able to retire undefeated. Now, y'all can say Canelo is in his prime now. Because why? He's the undisputed champion at 168. Okay. But Eddie Hearn insulted David Benavidez and said, oh, why will Canelo fight David Benavidez? What does David Benavidez have that Canelo wants? What does he have? Okay. What does Triple G have, Eddie Hearn? Because you said that it would make sense for it to be a trilogy fight with Triple G and Canelo for the undisputed. But Triple G campaigning at 160, he'd have to come up to 68, and he would be the one fighting for the undisputed. So what does Triple G have now that Canelo, that Canelo won? He already got a victory over him. So why wouldn't it make sense for him to fight David Benavidez? That's just like when Ronnie Shields said it didn't make sense for Jamal Charlo to fight David Benavidez and said, oh, Benavidez don't have nothing that Charlo want. Now Charlo don't have anything either. And this is no insult or disrespect to, to Jamal or Jamal Charlo, because anybody who know me know I like the Charlo brothers too. But that's why I said before, it makes sense for all of those other guys to fight each other, but it absolutely makes sense for Canelo to fight David Benavidez. It would not make sense for him to have a trilogy fight at 168 for the undisputed against Triple G. The only thing that's going to bring is just a big pot of money, nothing else. But see, people know. So a lot of people think Eddie Hearn himself too. You think that it make more sense for Canelo to go up to Cruiserweight to fight Makabu? And you're saying that even and I don't agree with nothing that Tim Bradley says. But I agree with Tim Bradley when Tim Bradley said nobody wants to see Canelo fight Makabu. Everybody said. Only one who ain't saying it is Eddie Hearn. You know why? Because he know that he's going to put the fight on under the zone and they going to cash out regardless. He going to get paid. His thing is Canelo is the cash cow for the zone right now. Check it. Canelo is the cash cow for the zone right now. And he makes more money. This is exactly why when Demetrius Andrade had came into one of Canelo's press conference, I think it was after the Billy Joe Saunders fight or something like that, we know that Demetrius Andrade is a DAZN fighter, and Canelo supposedly not a DAZN fighter, but you gonna let this man insult your fighter? When Canelo was like, get the fuck out of here, blah, 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 blah. And Eddie Hearn just sat right there and laughed. I'm like, Demetrius Andrade is your fighter. And he just talking about trying to get a fight with Canelo. So, of course, naturally, yeah, Eddie Hearn is going to agree with any and everything Canelo say because Canelo is calling the shots. Canelo's calling the shots. He's just using DAZN, the network, to put himself, to keep himself, in the mainstream spotlight. That's all. And Eddie Hearn needs Canelo for that. Who else is going to carry DAZN? Who else is going to carry DAZN? And this is no insult or disrespect to none of the other DAZN fighters or champions. But Canelo is the guy right now. But just like Floyd said, we want to see Canelo against David Benavidez. David Benavidez has been asking for this fight for the longest time. And I think that, yes, he has paid his dues, even though he said he's willing to fight the likes of Anthony Durrell again. He'll fight Charlo. He'll fight Caleb Plant. He'll fight any of the, Jacobs. Triple G, any of them guys. He'll fight any of them guys. Andre, any of them from 60 to 68. If that means he can get a shot with Canelo. And even though a lot of people think that is a easy winnable fight for Canelo because of David Benavidez's frame. Because he got that long, leaky frame. So a lot of people think that Canelo will be able to tear his body up and get to him breaking down easy. But what is it that Canelo sees in David Benavidez? See, Canelo know he can't just hit Benavidez and Benavidez ain't going to come back. Benavidez been dropped and everything, but he gets right back up. And I like David Benavidez. And I want to see that fight. I don't care about he's fighting Makabu. I don't even know, honestly, and this is no insult to Makabu, but I don't know. I don't know who he is. You know, you can't know everything about boxing, but I mean, if Makabu was a legitimate threat in any scheme, and even Floyd said that Makabu was a guy who used to train in the Mayweather gym, and he said the fighters in there was getting the best of him. And Floyd made another good point. Like I said, man, David Benavidez could go up to Cruiserweight and beat that guy. So Canelo's not doing nothing great. Y'all talking about chasing greatness? Come on now. He's running from David Benavidez. What was your point of becoming undisputed? And not only that, you got to look at a lot of the titles that Canelo has won. He's waited for a lot of weaker opposition to obtain those belts and then went after them. Because he was a champion at 154. When he won the WBA belt, for those of y'all who follow this and know, when he won the WBA title at junior middleweight at 154, and y'all can drop the comments in the comment section below. What did he do? Who had the belt before Canelo got it? Demetrius Andrade had the belt at 154. Canelo wouldn't fight him. And what happened? Andrade was stripped of the title due to inactivity. And after he was stripped of that belt, who went for that belt? Canelo did. Canelo went for the belt. Y'all can check it out for yourself. Then Charlo became his mandatory at 154. And what did he do? Left. Went up. He fought Jacobs at 60. Yeah, he fought Triple G twice. But when Charlo became his mandatory again, how did Charlo get the belt at 160? Canelo was the WBC champion. How did Jamal Charlo get the belt? It was vacant. He won it. They put it on him after Canelo vacated it, petitioned for the franchise title. And then what did he do? He went up to 68. And beat guys that he knew that he could beat. Yeah, I gave Caleb Plant the benefit of the doubt. And I don't have a problem with admitting that I misgauged that one. I still think Caleb Plant is a good fighter. But, you know, for what it's worth, you know, he just didn't have enough, to be able to hold Canelo off. And, and to get through the rest of the fight, Canelo was able to walk him down. But Floyd took him to school. And everybody now everybody want to talk about, oh, he was, wasn't in his prime. He was inexperienced. He was this, that, and the third. I mean, come on, man. How many times are people just going to keep taking these jabs and stabs and shots at Floyd? Because he's speaking his mind. And those of y'all who think that Canelo, I mean, like, all right, listen, just by a show of thumbs up, just drop a thumb up in the comment section below if y'all really want to see Canelo fight Makabu. If y'all don't want to see him fight Makabu, put a thumbs down. But if y'all want to see him fight Benavidez, just put a thumb up in the comment section below. If y'all want to see him fight Makabu, if y'all don't want to see that fight, just put a thumbs down. Like, nah, we ain't with that Makabu fight. We'd rather see him fight, David Benavidez. Why won't he fight David Benavidez? He said he would fight Charlo too, but that still never happened. And, you know, I'm not taking nothing away from Daniel Jacobs, but you saw how he performed against Gabriel Rosado. He didn't do too good in that fight. And what's going on with Danny Boy right now? No, you haven't really heard too much from Daniel Jacobs right about now. You haven't really heard too much from him. Well, I hope he's doing good. Wish him all the best. But David Benavidez deserves that shot at Canelo. And if you don't want to put all of those belts up against Benavidez, then go ahead and put one of them or two of them up. I'm sure Benavidez and his team will pay the sanctioning fees to fight for any one of those belts. But what is it that Canelo is waiting for? See, he waiting to see Benavidez get dominated by somebody else. So then now he could say, oh, well, he got dominated by somebody else. I'll do this to him. So, I mean, you know, come on. And then people try to make up excuses for Canelo when he lost to Floyd. Oh, he was drained. He had trouble with the weight. Blah, blah, blah. All kind of stuff. And then, of course, we know that Canelo failed, you know, at least 2 drug tests. Clenbuterol has been found in his blood. Was suspended once, I think. But by the time that suspension was over, he was going to be ready to fight again anyway. And then the WBC is raising the Clenbuterol levels. They did it for Oscar Valdez, and now they doing it for Canelo. So that way, if they raise the level, so if they, you know, if it's in there, like, oh, well, you know, it's not at this level, so it don't count. So they basically helping this man cheat. And even Eddie Hearn was like, you know, Canelo has always been labeled as a drug cheat. But now you making money with the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, come on, like, and Eddie Hearn, he know it. And even Floyd, you know, Floyd said it's possible Canelo could have been on performance enhancers, you know, in his past fights. But once again, if y'all just, all you got to do is just listen to Victor Conte, the man who was ahead of that whole Balco performance enhancing drug thing, that whole Balco thing. Now he got the snack program that all of the fighters, you know, are with. Congratulations to Jerron Ennis and Bozy Ennis too for being part of the snack family too. So now they join, you know, Caleb Plant, Devin Haney, a few Demetrius Andre, a few other fighters, you know, that's in the snack program. But when Victor Conte was playing on that other side, I'm telling you, just look up any articles that he put out there in reference to PEDs, the loopholes, and how fighters can cheat and how that stuff still helps them. I'm telling you. And listen to what he said about Canelo too. There's no way you can just keep, you know, jumping up and down and all these different weights, light heavyweight. Now you're going up to cruiserweight and all that stuff, and then you keep jumping up and down. You know, there's no way you could do that stuff without help. There's no way you can do it without help. Losing muscle was not the same as losing body fat. Ask Roy Jones, he'll tell you. Ever since he lost all that muscle when he went up to fight Ruiz and then had to lose, you know what, 20 plus pounds of muscle to come back down to light heavy to fight Tarver, he's never been the same. He'll tell you what that stuff can do. You know what starching your body is? Starching your body to make weight? There's no way you can do that stuff without help. You got to be on something. I'm just saying, like, you know, just do your own research. But Canelo should be fighting David Benavidez. He should not be going up to fight no Ilunga Makabu. He should not be going up. There's nothing there. Yeah, Makabu got a belt, but so because he chasing greatness because Makabu got a belt. If Makabu didn't have a belt and he wanted to go up there and fight him, y'all still say Canelo, you know, he just daring to be great, fighting in different weight classes and all that kind of stuff. Eddie Hearn talking about, oh man, this is a dangerous fight for Canelo. Boy, it's going to be 200 pounds and he hits like a mule and blah, blah, blah. They already laying it out to make Canelo look great when he beat Makabu. But Floyd already said it. And when you in that Mayweather boxing club, you in the doghouse. And Floyd already said, man, this dude was getting taken advantage of. He said if the fighters was getting over him. He didn't say what weight. So it could have been any, could have been junior middleweights. Could have been middleweights. Could have been, welterweights in that joint. Because some fighters like to train for everything. Some people bring in, some smaller fighters bring in big punchers, heavier fighters, Like, come on, man. Tank even sparred was, when I used to box in the gym, I watched a guy named Coy Evans box a guy. Dude looked like he was a light heavyweight. Broke his nose in the gym. Broke his nose. Busted him all up in the gym. And Coy was a featherweight, 126. Coy Evans, who was a good fighter. Matter of fact, the card that Pacquiao got knocked out, when Marquez knocked him out, I think Coy fought on that undercard. He didn't win the fight, but he wasn't in shape. But I'm just saying, Coy Evans, one of the, another fighter from the dungeon that I highly respect. But he used to box guys bigger than him all the time and would be busting their ass. So don't make it seem like Canelo doing something great. Floyd said there was other fighters in the gym getting out on this guy. And you don't think that Canelo, with his experience, is not going to get out on this guy? Stop it, man. Drop the comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the notification button. If you're watching this for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Canelo versus David Benavidez. Who wants to see it? I do.